November 26th, National Cake Day. Who don't love cake? We all love cake in one form or another. Whether it's a regular cake, an ice cream cake, any kind of cake, we all love some cake. Cake with ice cream is even better. This one today, we're going to try something a little bit different. We always try to mix it up and come up with a different thing. Considering it's still fall, and we still want to kind of play with those fall flavors of clove and ginger and nutmeg and cinnamon and all that stuff before we move into our eggnog peppermint season, because that's coming soon. We're going to do a chai tea spice cake, a vanilla chai tea cake. I've never done a tea infused cake before, but this one sounded really kind of interesting and cool, and I saw this picture of this cake that somebody did, and it just was like, you know, a friend shared it to me, and I saw this picture of this cake with like caramel drizzled on it and this buttercream, and it had pistachios on it, but we're not doing pistachios because they're way too expensive, so we're going to do pecans instead, because we have some of those. But this just looked really, really good, and so I'm going to try to really jazz this one up today and decorate. Pipe. I'm going to pipe today. Again, 2 days in a row of piping. But this one I'm going to use a tip and really try to make it fancy. I'm going to try. I don't know. We're also going to make our own homemade caramel again and drizzle that on our cake. But here's what you need for the cake part, because we got to get this in the oven and get this started. Be right back. Okay, so first things first. We're going to infuse our tea, our chai, vanilla chai tea, into our milk. So we're going to warm our 1 cup of milk and take our tea bags. I'm using my shaker, my cocktail shaker here, because I'm just going to pour the warm milk. It's not hot milk. We're not, you know, looking to, you know, really make tea here. It's just to kind of infuse that flavor into the milk. Okay? Off to the side, leave that there, let that steep for about 10 minutes or so. In the meantime, we're going to start making our other stuff. 2 sticks of softened butter, room temperature butter, okay, into our bowl, and our sugar. You know this process, we do it all the time, the creaming of the butter and the sugar. And then once you have your fluffy sugar and butter, you want to add your eggs one at a time. And then once that's mixed, you're going to add just 2 of your spices here. Your vanilla extract, okay, and your ground ginger. In a separate bowl, mix together your flour and all your spices, your cinnamon, your nutmeg, cardamom, ground cloves, and your baking powder and baking soda, okay? Just want to whisk all of those together. And then once that's mixed, now this recipe says dump. It doesn't say gradually, it doesn't say a little at a time. It says dump this dry mixture into this wet mixture. So that's what I'm doing. And now it's time. The reason why I'm using my shaker too is because it has this great strainer on the top. I'm going to add this to this batter, okay, a little at a time, and just kind of drizzle that in until that's all incorporated. But don't overmix this. Just, you know, as soon as you see it's all together, done. The batter is all done here. Looks, when I tell you this, I have a feeling this cake is going to be a real winner today, because this batter already smells amazing. I mean, that tea, that infused tea is just really, the smell of that is just, it's incredible. So I can imagine, it reminds me of a cookie. Like an oatmeal cookie or something. I don't know, it's got that kind of smell to it. Anyway, you're going to divide this now, this batter. This is always the tricky part, to make sure you got an even amount so your 2 layers of your cake kind of come out the same. Okay, so these are all ready. Into a 350 oven, about 35 to 40 minutes. Toothpick in, out, clean, good to go. Okay, baking, keep your eye on it as always, and we'll be back. We got to make our buttercream for this today and our caramel sauce. It's a lot of stuff today, but it's okay. It's going to be a big payoff. See you later. Okay, our 2 cakes are out. It was closer to 35 minutes, so like I said, keep your eye on it because we don't want to burn them, okay? We're going to make our caramel sauce now because these are going to cool down. We have to make our caramel sauce next so that can cool down because we can't pour hot caramel over our buttercream. You'll see when we put this thing together. So we'll do our caramel next, let that cool down, and then we'll start making our buttercream. Let's get started on this. Now, you could go to the store and just buy the bottled caramel sauce if you wanted to, but why? It's 5 ingredients. It's a cup of brown sugar, okay? It's a half a cup of half and half. It's a half a stick of butter. More butter. There's a lot of butter in this. Buttercream, butter in the cake, butter in the sauce. It's okay. And a pinch of salt. That's it. You're going to cook this for about 5 to 7 minutes until this becomes a smooth mixture. Okay, and then once this becomes smooth, cooks for about 5-7 minutes, thickens up, becomes this nice smooth mixture, you're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. Done. Put it off to the side, let it cool, okay? Onto our buttercream, same thing here. 2 sticks of butter, more butter. About a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Okay, and you're just going to mix that together. Okay, and then to your fluffy butter and vanilla, you're going to add 4 cups of powdered sugar, a half a cup at a time, okay? So just keep track of how much you're adding. And then finally, I have about 3 or 4 tablespoons of milk, but you just want to add it a little bit at a time, like a tablespoon at a time, just so you get the right consistency that you want for your buttercream, because you want to be able to pipe it. If we're piping, which we are, okay? So you want to make it a nice smooth mixture, but not too wet, because we don't want it to be runny. We want it to hold whatever shape we're giving it, you know? Okay, all our components have cooled down. Let's get started. Take the bottom layer of your cake. Now, I'm going to pipe, but because I'm going to put another layer on top of this part I don't have to pipe. I mean, I might pipe around the edges just to give it a pretty middle layer kind of thing. But for the most part, I don't need to pipe this center part here, okay? So there's our layer of that. I just want to put a little bit of our caramel in the middle here as well. And we're just going to kind of spread that out. Okay. Just a little bit to give us flavor. We're going to drizzle the rest of this over the whole top of the cake when we're done here. But I just want to incorporate a little bit of that into our center layer of cream here, okay? Now, second layer of cake on top. Press that down. Okay. And now we're going to do some piping. So I have my piping bag here. I put a little star tip on there. Now it's not the biggest tip in the world. I still have to get cake tips. These are more like little cupcake decorating tips or something. But I want to make sure that back end is pinched off. And then what I'm going to do is just pipe. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Some like rosettes or stars or whatever they are into the middle here. Okay, see? Look, I did a nice piping job. See, it puts these little beads of stars with a star tip and just kind of went around and made a nice little center there. Okay, just to dress it up a little. Now we're going to take the rest of this and do the same thing on the top. Now what I was thinking of doing, because I don't know if I'm going to have enough to cover the entire top, so what I might do is start with an outside ring, then pour our caramel in the middle of that and sprinkle our pecans on the top of that. I think I'm going to try that. Maybe even do like a little centerpiece too. Alright, so anyway, you saw me do the piping there. I'm actually getting better at it. It's not squeezing out the back. And I'm doing pretty good. So let me continue. I'll be back when this is all decorated. And then we're going to have a taste of this one today. Alrighty? See you in a few. Look at that. Come on. I'm getting better at this piping thing. Now I'm all excited. Now I'm going to pipe everything. All right, let's not lose a grip on it now. All right, now I'm just going to take my caramel and with a spoon, I'm hoping it didn't cool down too much that I can't drizzle, because that's really what I want to do, is drizzle this over the top. Kind of like that, but not. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my caramel. I left this ring of cake here. I'm just going to kind of fill it in this ring, and maybe I'll put my pecans in that ring. There's no set thing to decorating. Decorating is a matter of choice. You do what you want. You do what pleases your eye. You know, if you see an idea and you get an idea for a design, you kind of do that, okay? I mean, look at that. Pecans on the caramel ring that we made. I think this cake is one of my best looking cakes. I mean, this is almost like bakery quality cake. I may have to start selling these. Never mind sending you people stuff. I may start selling you people stuff. But let me get a plate and a fork, because we got to cut this one and then clean up this mess and then go to work. But we got to try this first. Be right back. Okay, let's see what we got here today for National Cake Day. This one's a little bit different. That chai tea, vanilla chai tea. I probably should have let this sit a little longer to set up, but I want it now. And I gotta go to work. But yeah, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Look, 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 look. Oh, does that look good? All right, let's see what the flavor of this cake is. Let me get a piece of the cake first without the frosting, just to see what the cake tastes like. Well, it's obviously very moist and fresh. Ooh. Mmm. Really, really different kind of flavor. Like a spice cake, which it is, but really mild, really subtle. I don't know if it's the tea that gives it this subtle flavor, but you got you get a kick of sweetness from the frosting and the caramel, obviously. The cake itself is not overly sweet, which is great. That's what's giving you those nice flavors, those subtle flavors. And then the caramel and the buttercream just kick you with that sugar. But really nice. Really original, really different kind of flavor. If you like a spice cake, you'll really like this. Like I said, it's just very subtle in the spices. Alright, well, we tried a new one. That's what we try to do around here. Try something new all the time. Don't always just make the same old cake over and over and over and over. Find a recipe or have a friend send you one like I did. And just try it and go, hey. If it's good, it's a keeper. If it sucks, you take it to work and you give it away. Alright? We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.